This video shows an easy do-it-yourself project making heart necklaces from metallic floss, glitter, beads, sticker bits, and nail art. They can be modified for the 1/6, 1/12, 1/24, 1/48, and 1/44 miniature scales. Materials and suggested supplies are shown and listed in the description box below. For the chain, select embroidery floss in metallic color like gold and silver. Cut the floss in a 4 to 5 inch length, then divide the 6 strands into one piece for most necklaces. I do use 2 strands for the 1/6 larger scale. You could also try using sewing thread. I'm using white here, and I painted it with the rose gold metallic paint. It came out a little bit more of a matte finish instead of the shiny finish, but that would also work for the necklace. For the heart-shaped pendant, you could use fingernail art pieces that are in shape of hearts. The nail art pieces are about 1/8 of an inch, and then they've been cut out in the center, and that little heart I also use is about 1/16 of an inch. Or use 11/0 or 15/0 size seed beads, or cardstock paper punched into mini hearts. 4 millimeters what I use. And if you don't have pre-colored paper, just go ahead and use metallic acrylics. Let it dry and then punch it. My paper punch has little houses on it, but I use the 4 hearts in between each of the 3 houses. I'll save the houses for something else. To add extra detail as jewelry findings for clasp or closures, I use micro no-hole beads and glitter in various sizes, in the different colors of gold, silver, and reds. I also like to use the leftover sticker bits or pieces that are left when you pull up the sticker design in the shapes of circles, ovals, diamonds, squares, hyphenated shapes, little curves. Using tweezers or a quilter's pin sometimes helps. It's easier for me to remove them from the paper, and then I will glue it even though it has sticker on it. I made this conversion diagram showing common necklace chains on the left, and then I note the length for the 1/12 and some of the 1/24, 1/48, 1/144, and 1/6 on the right-hand side for the smaller sizes. For the smaller scale challenges, I'm going to go with the current 24-inch regular size and then to the smaller scales. And you can see them at the bottom right, where I try to do the 1/24, 1/48, the 1/144 sizes. They're super tiny, and I think my 1/44 size is a little bit too large. So here I'm showing that I have a little tiny one that I think would work for 1/44 scale. So the sizes I have, for example, the 1 inch, the 1/2 inch, the 1/8 inch, those are the cut piece, or what it would be lengthwise, but then you're going to have to round it with glue. I'll show you in a little bit how I get the little necklace shape, but probably the most important thing is once you get that little loop there to the size you want, then you need to add glue on the front and the back of that loop where it connects with the other piece and where it's rounded, and let it dry good. Then once it's dry, you can cut off the extra pieces of floss on either end. To make the larger 1/6 scale, I take a 4-inch piece of 2 strands, and then I just kind of glue it at the top. I have a little cross mark there, but I glue at the top and front and the back, and on the top center, let that dry, and then I cut that. I cut the little extra pieces at the top so it looks more rounded. To make the rest of the necklaces, I take the 4 to 5 inch piece of strand, 1 strand piece, and I just kind of try to make one little loop, and then I pull it. And I'm kind of guessing here, but once I get it to where I think that's the right size, I'll take it over to my little scale, and I'm going to see what the size is. So I'm going to take my tweezers so I can kind of straighten it out. And this is a 1/4 inch graph squares. And so where it needs to be 8, I need to have that stretch out, so that's 4. And then that will make it, you add that together, then that's the 24 inch or the 2 inches all together. So when it's in the rounded shape, it's going to be 1 inch once you stretch it out. And then I'm going to do the same thing where I glue at the very top where the loop is. Now you could try to knot that if you want to, but for me it's just easier if I hold on to it and let it dry. And I might have to hold it a few seconds, but get the front side. And you can like use your fingers to kind of help spread the glue around. I have a lot of dry glue on my fingers, but it works. And then get the back of it, and then at the top where the loop is, where you pull the two ends together, and then leave that dry good. And if you need to, just go ahead, just do little dabs at a time. And then when it dries, then go ahead and cut. And make sure you leave enough space there that you don't cut your little loop. I've done that a few times. While that piece dries, here's another example of making the loop. And then I'm going to try to line it up to the diagram to see if I have a close size. I'm trying to keep my fingers in front of the camera, and it's not always working. But again, I make the loop, and I'm trying to get it to lengthen out using my tweezers so I can measure it against the diagram. And once I think it's okay, and you can make your adjustments if you need to, go ahead and start to add the glue and let that dry. After I think that it's dry, and then I take the scissors and then I cut as close to the edge of the loop as I can, I will go ahead and dab it with some more glue just to kind of secure that little closure area. Once the necklace chain embroidery floss has dried, then you're ready to decorate. I place these tiny 4 small necklaces on a little bottle cap, and then I gather up some glitter, the tiny glitter, the little tiny nail art heart, and some micro no-hole beads, and I kind of put that in the center. And then I use a combination of the tweezers and the quilting pin to try to glue the little bits onto for the necklace pendant, and trying to hold it down so I can put the glue on, and then try to add those little tiny parts. I set these tiny necklaces aside to dry so I can work on the other necklaces. And I'm showing you different combinations that I've done. I painted some of the red hearts silver or gold, or the rose gold and copper. And then I add some stickers for the clasp and add some micro beads here and there. So I kind of do a little mixture and a variety of different colors and shapes. And of course I decided to try something else. I have those really little thin advertising magnets that you can get, and I took a 1/8 inch dot hole punch and I punched it in it, and I thought, I wonder if I can use that to close the clasp. And yes, guess what? When I glued it to the end of the floss, let it dry, the little pieces will come together. It's a real weak magnetic pull or force, but it does go together. And you can use an inspiration piece like this gold necklace, which I have in regular size, and I wanted to make for a miniature necklace. Happy Valentine's Day! I hope you enjoyed making a tiny heart necklace, and thank you so much for watching.